I told my husband that we're not going to his little sister's wedding, and now his whole family is saying horrible things about me. I need to know if I'm the villain. I don't think I'm the villain. Maybe I'm the villain. As a starter, I'm just gonna say it. I've never particularly loved my husband's relationship with his little sister. It's weird, okay? It kind of freaks me out a little bit. For example, one time when I first started dating my husband, I was talking to his little sister and she was complaining about being single, and I was like, well, maybe I can set you up with one of my friends. Like, what's your type? She says, I want somebody exactly like my brother. I was like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, my brother's the best guy. Like, you are the luckiest girl in the world. If I could date a man exactly like my brother, perfect. It's like, oh, nope, I don't like that. Don't get me wrong. I love a family-oriented man, but it always felt like his little sister was trying to compete with me. Girl, we have very different roles in your brother's life, so there's no reason. No reason to be jealous of me. No reason to compete with me, but she does. I'm telling you, every single time we had some kind of big event, like my birthday or one of our anniversaries, his sister would always have some kind of emergency. I was like, there's no way. One time, okay, maybe that's just unfortunate. But like, I'm sorry, the third birthday in a row I'm spending by myself because you're having a breakdown and you need your brother. So my husband and I got married 8 months ago, where she was a menace, okay? If you want the story time about all the things that his sister did at our wedding, let me know, because that's a whole story time in itself. But anyways, my husband and I decided that instead of doing a honeymoon right after our wedding, we were gonna wait a few months so that we could save up more money and really do the honeymoon that we wanted. And finally, our honeymoon is right around the corner. We have put so much time and money into planning this thing. I'm actually way more excited for the honeymoon than I even was about the wedding. Here's where things start getting wild. This weekend, we had a dinner at my in-laws' house, and my husband's little sister brought her new boyfriend, who looked really strangely like her brother. I just wanted to point that out. I mean, it was noticeable. The similarities were pretty clear. And I wish that was my biggest concern, because there were a lot more issues that came out of this dinner. Now, this was the first time we were meeting her new boyfriend. This girl is like a revolving door of boyfriends. I meet a new one at every single family dinner. I think she had been dating her new boyfriend for like maybe 2 months. Then, in the middle of dinner, his sister stands up and is like, we have a really exciting announcement. We're getting married. I thought it was a joke. I was like, wait, what? Like, last family dinner, you had a completely different man here. You were saying you were in love with him. Now you're getting married to this one. I mean, you know what? None of my business. And everyone else at the table is super excited. I was like, am I the only one that finds this strange? Like, she just met this man. No one's concerned? Okay. Again, none of my business. That's all you, girl. But also, I'm thinking there's absolutely no way these two are actually gonna get married, because in the time it's gonna take them to actually plan the wedding, they're gonna break up. I don't think that any of her relationships have lasted more than 6 months. So finally, my husband asks her, do you have any plans for when you want the wedding to be? And when she tells us, I'm floored. That's all I can say. I was absolutely taken aback, because not only is her wedding less than a month away, it's on the first full day of our honeymoon. Immediately, the type A planner in me, I'm like, whoa, okay, how are you gonna plan a wedding in less than a month? It takes a lot to plan a wedding. She was like, oh, I think it's just gonna be really small and low key. We can do it here in my parents' backyard. And you still have a lot of the decorations from your wedding. I can just use those. I'm like, you know what? Fine. She wants my decorations. She didn't really ask for them. She just told me basically I was gonna give them to her. And I will. That's fine. She wants to borrow them. She can. But I tell her, hey, you probably wanna move the date like a week later, because me and your brother, we're gonna be on our honeymoon. She looks at me and she's like, ugh, too bad, guess you're gonna have to move it. Silly me thinking that she picked this date on accident. Definitely wasn't an accident. She looks at me and she's like, we were looking at the calendar, and that specific date, it really spoke to us. We knew that's when we needed to get married. I'm sorry. I didn't know that calendars developed vocal cords. All of a sudden it told you when to get married. No, you can move it. It's not like anything's been planned or booked for the wedding. It just decided that that was the date that she wanted to get married. So I say, okay, listen, if that date really spoke to you, get married on it. It's your life, it's your wedding. But unfortunately, we would not be able to go, because everything we booked for our honeymoon was non-refundable, and we have a ton of things planned for that day. We'd have to spend more money rebooking plane tickets, and then we would be out a ton of money for the activities that we already planned that day. And we already moved our honeymoon back so that we could afford these things. So we're not gonna just now not go. And I knew this girl was a drama queen, but I was not ready for this reaction. She slammed her hands on the table and immediately started sobbing. She was like, "You're the most selfish person I've ever met in my life." I was looking around, I was like, there's no way she's talking to me right now. Absolutely no way. She goes, "I can't believe that you're gonna keep my big brother away from me on the most important day of my life." I was like, okay, your wedding to this man that you just met, that you could have on any other day because you haven't planned it. Preferably maybe a day in like a year or something when you actually know the guy, but whatever. So their parents run over to her, they're comforting her, they're babying her, and I look at my husband, I was like, yeah, that is our cue to get out of here. He's like, "No, I feel like we should stay and try to figure this out." But I know his little sister, there's absolutely no rationalizing with her. So I was like, yeah, I feel like we should just maybe try to figure this out when things have calmed down. So we get home, and that entire night and the next day, we are just getting texts from absolutely every member of his family telling me how I'm the villain, I'm being selfish, and that we just need to rearrange our whole honeymoon to make it to this wedding. But this girl has made every single one of my birthdays, our anniversary, even our wedding about her. So no, not the honeymoon. Not the honeymoon that I have been so excited for. I told my husband, this is not a negotiation for me because this is ridiculous. She could pick another wedding date. There is no reason why this is an issue. She's making it an issue. Like, we actually have a real conflict, and she doesn't. I was desperately trying to get through to this man. I was like, you do realize this is intentional. She picked this day intentionally, and she won't move it for a reason. Like, she is doing it because of our honeymoon. And he's like, no, there's no way she would do that. Like, she always does that. So my husband comes up with what he says is the perfect solution. I go on the first day of our honeymoon by myself, and then he meets me there later. I told him if I get on a plane and I leave for our honeymoon without a husband, I'm coming back without a husband as well. So now my husband and I are in a stalemate, and we're just not seeing eye to eye on this, and his family is just constantly telling me how I'm terrible and selfish. Am I wrong for not budging on this? I don't think I am. I think that I should be allowed to stay firm on this honeymoon that we've had planned for such a long time. But let me know if you think I'm being way too difficult about the whole thing.